The weather in Kentucky is about to turn very active. We go from thunderstorms on Friday to the potential of the first flakes of the season by Sunday night. Good evening, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Shane Smith, and it is currently Thursday, November 6th, 2025, and we are dry right now across the Commonwealth of Kentucky, but that will change as we go into Friday. Right now, radar Omega showing we have high pressure centered off to our northeast up around Columbus, Ohio. That is keeping us nice and dry for the time being. However, a pair of storm systems are lining up off to our west. The first storm system currently up near Minneapolis. This is a cold front, an area of low pressure. That is going to dive on down into the Bluegrass as we go on into the day on Friday. That has the potential of triggering off some severe weather. You can see kind of the highlights of that in the graphic below me. We'll talk more about the specifics of that in just a minute. But behind that system, we have another storm. Storm number 2, currently impacting the Pacific Northwest. Another area of low pressure and another cold front. That one dives on down into the Bluegrass as we go into the weekend. That arrives here Sunday, brings us some rain Sunday during the day, flakes Sunday night, lingering into Monday. So not a ton of precipitation, but it may be the first legitimate shot of snow of the season. And my wife is giving me a very dirty look right now. She is not a fan of the snow, but it is a potential. I don't think it's going to be a lot, but I think it is enough to at least warrant talking about. Okay, so let's break down the severe weather threat for tomorrow. That is the big story. As that frontal system rolls in, winds are going to gust. Even outside of thunderstorms tomorrow, we're going to see wind gusts pushing 40 miles per hour. We'll take a look at that wind forecast in just a second. And one thing to note about the Storm Prediction Center's map. This has not been updated since this morning. Looking at some of the latest data, I would take what they've got and move it further east. I think realistically, the best shot of severe weather is actually going to be right through here, including Berea, Somerset, Corbin, Williamsburg, London, Hazard. I think that is where we're going to end up seeing that slight risk, that 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale move to. A lot of the latest data is taking this system and pushing it further to the east. We're going to see that here in a second. But what does a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale mean? Well, that is a slight risk. Scattered severe thunderstorms possible, short-lived and or not widespread, but isolated and intense storms possible. And I think that's the thing we've got to watch out for tomorrow. The best chance of the severe weather going to be between 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock tomorrow during the afternoon and evening. Let's break down the individual categories. This is the tornado risk from the Storm Prediction Center. You'll notice a 2% risk for a large chunk of the state. It's not a big risk, but it's also not zero. So it's something we got to watch out for. The hail outlook, up to 15% chance of 1-inch diameter hail for the area in the yellow. But once again, I think that's going to end up moving further off to the east when we get the update tomorrow morning from the Storm Prediction Center. Damaging wind outlook, the entire state pretty much, minus far western Kentucky, under a 5% risk of 58 mile per hour winds or greater. Okay, let's forget the outlooks. Let's take a look at radar because people understand future radar a little bit better than some of those probability graphics. Here is 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Central Time. You'll notice thunderstorms starting to break out in south central Kentucky, right along the I-65 corridor between E-Town and Bowling Green. if we're going to see some severe weather in western Kentucky, this is likely when it would happen, right around lunchtime or just after. We go a little bit further into the future. This is 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. Notice thunderstorms from just north of Ashland, back over towards Moorhead, near Winchester, down towards Berea and Mount Vernon, Somerset, over towards Monticello. That line has the potential of being a little bit on the strong to severe side. We go into the evening hours. That's when we really see the blow up. As it gets into far eastern Kentucky, we've had all day to allow those temperatures to warm up. It would not surprise me on a strong southerly wind tomorrow if some spots in eastern Kentucky flirt with 70. That will add more fuel to the thunderstorms, and you'll see here at 7 o'clock, Pikeville, you've got a thunderstorm. Prestonsburg, Salyersville, you've got a thunderstorm. Jackson, you've got a thunderstorm. Over into Lee and Owsley counties, you guys seeing thunderstorms. London, Corbin seeing thunderstorms at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, all the way down to Lake Cumberland. That would be the best chance overall of severe weather. And you can see that covers a large area of real estate. That's why I think that level 2 risk honestly needs to come about 50 to 75 miles to the east at the very minimum, if not even a little bit more than that. We then push on into Saturday. We should start the day off dry, and then as we go into Saturday night into Sunday, our next weather maker arrives. We'll talk about that one in a second. Even outside of thunderstorms tomorrow, this is 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central. You're going to notice some wind gusts, especially up in central Kentucky, Lexington up to Covington. May push 45, 50 miles per hour. Even here in London, 35, 40 miles per hour. Same story, Bowling Green. Then as those thunderstorms pop back up, you'll notice that little surge of some wind. So even outside of thunderstorms, gusty winds heading our way tomorrow. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Once again, here's that look at the storms. This is the European model. It's got the same general idea as the HRRR, but I'm a little bit more interested in looking at Sunday with it. You'll notice area of low pressure passes off to our north. We get some showers and thunderstorms on Sunday, and then as that colder air wraps in, we see northwest flow snow showers. You might hear the term upslope snow. It's a kind of a ideal setup for eastern Kentucky for at least a few renegade upslope snow showers, especially during the day on Monday. Now, temperatures for most of us looking like low to mid 30s. It ain't going to stick in that in most spots, but a little coating on the rooftops, not out of the realm of possibility. A little bit of light accumulation, higher elevations, can't rule that out. That was the European model's take on it. GFS showing not as much precipitation, but showing at least a little bit of snow possible Sunday and Monday. Just for funsies, this is not the forecast, and I will tell you most of this would melt, but this is assuming that if everything's stuck, up on Black Mountain, they may see 3 inches, according to the UK weather model. Not University of Kentucky, but the British weather model. Not buying that solution. The German model, the Icon, showing a couple spots maybe picking up an inch. Once again, not buying that. The GFS honestly looks like the most realistic of the models. It is showing the possibility of a little accumulation up on Black Mountain. Outside of that, most of us not going to see that. The European model, if it's right, the snowfall lovers in southern Ohio are going to be real happy. And there may be a little bit on the ridge tops along the Virginia border. We'll have to wait and see about that. We've still got time to figure that out. Don't take that as a forecast. That's just a look at some of the early data just to show you there is the potential of the flakes flying. I think, if nothing else, we will see some snow area-wide Sunday, Monday. Is it going to cause problems? No. Is it going to cause school delays? Probably not for most districts. Don't think it's going to be a big deal besides the fact that it is the first snow of the season. The bigger deal with that may be the temperatures. Check out those lows Monday and Tuesday. How about mid-20s? Wind chills could be into the teens. Yeah, that's some real deal cold by November standards. Now, it's not long-lived. We rebound next weekend, heading back to near 70, and then another frontal system. So I think we're locking into a very active pattern where we're going to see the up and down flow of the jet stream. We're going to get ridged for a bit. It warms up. It's going to be nice. Boom, trough drops in behind it. We go cold. We maybe pick up a few flakes, at least a little bit. And I do think we've got an active fall severe weather season shaping up if things don't change. This is the kind of pattern that can produce fall severe weather in the Ohio Valley. And I would even extend that into December. We all remember what happened a couple years ago out in western Kentucky. Similar kinds of setups look possible. Now, I'm not saying that's happening anytime soon. I'm just saying the overall synoptic pattern, that's the big picture weather pattern, maybe lending itself to that. That's something we're going to have to keep a close eye on. Okay, that is it for me. Thank you so much for checking us out here on Facebook and YouTube. I do the big updates over here, and I will try to have updates as possible tomorrow. And we're just going to have to wait and see how this severe threat plays out. I don't think it's widespread. I don't think it's a major severe weather outbreak. But I think one or two strong to severe storms. Remember, a severe thunderstorm has 58 mile per hour winds, 1 inch diameter hail. I think that's definitely possible tomorrow. Do we see a tornado touch down tomorrow in Kentucky? There is at least enough of a chance that we need to mention it. I don't think it's a widespread chance. I don't think we're talking big storm like we saw back in May here in London, but an isolated little EF1, EF2 can't be ruled out. Something we're going to have to watch closely. Make sure you have multiple ways to get severe weather warnings tomorrow. Weather radio, apps on the phone, turn on EAS on your phone. Always a good idea. And have a plan to know where to go if severe weather strikes your location. Center of the home. Basement is preferable if you don't have a basement. An interior closet or bathroom with no windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible during severe weather. Okay, that's all I got for you tonight. We'll have another update tomorrow, and we'll be tracking the winter threat through the weekend. So until next time, friends, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. Take care, stay weather aware. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.